welcome to tonight's ACAA men's basketball matchup featuring the visiting MSVU Mystics and your hometown Mounties. We now ask that you rise if you're able and face our national flag for the playing of our national anthem. First, the starters for the visiting Mystics. Number 5, Isaac Matheson. Number 6, Chase Times. Number 7, Jaden Smith. Number 13, Sam Gillett. And number 24, Jackson Smith. And now the starters for your Mounties. Number 1, Eddie Sir. Number 6, Jonas Monroe. Number 14, Ryan Norris. Number 22, Tim Ellison. And number 25, Gaio Isaiah.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the McCormick Gymnasium here on the campus of Mount Allison University for this ACAA men's basketball regular season matchup between the visiting Mount St. Vincent Mystics and the home Mount Allison Mounties. My name is Tyler Vincent. Joining me is Ian Allen as we get you set for an important matchup here as we're late on in the ACAA season. MSVU coming into this one 9-3, second place in the ACAA. The home Mounties 6-8, currently sitting at 5th in the conference. And we're all set to get this one underway as the Mystics win the tip, and it's Gillette who hands off to Smith to get this one started. Smith guarded by Sir on the far side. On the ground, this is Smith. Ball's on the floor. Sir did a good job to dive for it. Bodies flying everywhere. Possession will go to the Mounties. Great defensive hustle right out of the gate from the home side, forcing the turnover for Mount St. Vincent. 14 here in the half court. Isaiah to trigger in on the far sideline. Down screen for Sir. They go to Monroe. They go to Ellison. Ellison finds the cutting Isaiah. Isaiah inside, shot left short, and rebounded by Jackson Smith. He pushes it ahead to Gillette. Gillette going one-on-one with Ellison. Gets himself into the lane. Blocked by Ellison. Ball tipped out of bounds by Tynes. Possession goes back to Mount Allison. So 2 strong defensive stops for the Mounties to start this game. Here is Sir back the other way. Sir uses the Ellison screen. Norris sets the back screen for him. They try to go inside. It's tipped and stolen away by the Mystics. Back the other way comes Isaac Matheson. He gives to Tynes. Tynes inside, working on Norris. Shots up, no good. Gets his own rebound and finishes with the right hand and flexes towards the bench. And a warning, 66 seconds into the game for Chase Tynes. Ball's back in play here with Sir. Mystics leading 2-0 here early on. Horns action here. They're going to use the Monroe screen. Here's Isaiah. Uses the Ellison screen. They try to get the switch. Ball was deflected. Monroe, a 3-ball. Left short, rattles around and in. It touched every part of the rim and the backboard, and it fell through for Monroe to give the home side a 3-2 lead. Here is Tynes up top, guarded by the reigning Defensive Player of the Year in the ACAA, Gaio Isaiah. Tynes gets to the right hand, and he's fouled on the drive. Isaiah picks up his first of the evening, as we will see Chase Tynes head to the free throw line for the Mystics. Second year of eligibility. Transfer from the University of Ottawa, home of the GGs, as he's good on the first. Also the brother of University of Maine and Team Canada standout point guard Kellen Tynes. Potentially someone we'll be seeing in March Madness next month. Second one's no good and rebounded by Ellison. And here comes Sir back the other way for the Mounties. Sir uses the Ellison screen, gets himself in the lane, ball was stripped. They pitch it ahead here to Smith, drops it off, nice find, and a finish by Isaac Matheson. Eyes in the back of his head for Jaden Smith. Pretty assist. They try to set the back screen for Ellison. They go to Monroe instead. Monroe puts it on the floor right. He's bumped on the ground. And we'll get a sideline out of bounds here. First foul of the evening on the Mystics. And it'll be charged to number 13, Sam Gillette. 14 on the shot clock here for the Mounties. 7:48 to play, first quarter. Mystics 5, Mounties 3. Ellison up top. Gives to Sir on the right wing. A pull-up on the way. It's good. Eddie Sir gets himself on the board early on for the Mounties. And we've got a tie ball game. Matheson calling out the set. Wants to go to Tynes and does. Tynes at the top. Gives back to Matheson. Good defense there from Norris. Gillette puts it on the ground against Ellison. A step back. Too strong. And rebounded on the weak side by Monroe. Here is Sir. Gives to Monroe. They go handoff with Isaiah. Isaiah drives middle. Gets himself into the paint. And finishes with the right hand. Gaio Isaiah restores the Mountie lead at 7-5 and nearly stolen away. Aggressive defense there on the far side from Jonas Monroe as he tried to pick the pocket of Jackson Smith. Possession will stay with the Mystics. Here is Matheson. Matheson lost the ball and stolen by Norris. Here is Sir looking for options, gives to Monroe. A transition three, too strong. Batted around and controlled by Tynes. Tynes pushing in transition. Nobody stops him and he jams with two hands. Swings on the rim as he ties the game. Here's Sir. Gives to Isaiah. Uses the Ellison screen. Gets himself in the lane. Kick out. Monroe, wide open three. Short. And rebounded by Gillette. Here comes Smith back the other way as he goes to Jackson Smith. Tynes up top. Matheson, a corner three. Too strong. Rebounded by Isaiah. And safely in the hands of Sir. Calling out the Horns action as he crosses half court. And they try to go to Ellison. It was tipped by Tynes, stolen away, and he will finish at the rim. And a technical foul on Chase Tynes for treating the basketball like a soccer ball and heading it after he laid it in. And that will bring Chase Tynes out of the game for the Mystics. And Jonas Monroe will shoot the technical free throw here for the Mounties.
Yeah, on that play, Shines had actually been warned earlier in the quarter, and it's just what the officials are trying to do is trying to keep players from showboating and just basically pissing off the opposition. Best way to do that, just keep scoring and shut them down on defense.
There we go. Great advice from our color analyst, Ian Allen, as Monroe tries to push Norris through. They want to go empty side for Ellison. They can't get it into him. Good work there by Gillette with the full front. Here's Sir in the mid-range, gets himself into the paint, and he's fouled on the way up. He's going to the free throw line for 2. Charge the foul to Isaac Matheson of the Mystics, number 5. And it will send Eddie Sir to the free throw line for the Mounties. First time at the line for him tonight. Good on the first. The second-year guard from Fredericton, New Brunswick. Transfer from Algoma University. Sir, good on both. Tie ball game here as we approach the halfway mark of the first quarter. 9-9 our score here in Sackville. It's Matheson, guarded by Norris. Matheson tries to attack baseline, now gives it up to Callahan. Callahan kicks it out to Smith. Smith working on Sir. Cross-court pass, Callahan in the corner. Shots no good. Rebounded by Ellison. And here come the Mounties with Sir. Sir goes to Isaiah. Isaiah posts up, kicks it back out. Now they go cross-court to Monroe. Monroe gives to Ellison. Ellison attacking. Gives it up when he sees the dig. Sir, a 3-ball is no good. And rebounded by Jackson Smith. Smith pushing in transition here for the Mystics. Gives it up to Callahan. Callahan goes inside. Matheson, a fadeaway. Rolls around and just off the front iron. Rebounded by Monroe. Monroe going to use the Ellison screen. He's stripped of the ball and a foul. Charge that to number 7 of the Mystics, Jaden Smith. That is the 4th foul of the quarter for the Mystics. So with 4.5 to play here in the first frame, the Mystics 1 foul away from the bonus as we see Rayshon Ferguson check into the game for the first time for the Mounties. And this is Ferguson with it up top. Keith Rowan, first chance we get to see him tonight as well. Monroe. Thought about the 3, now gives to Rowan, a 3-ball on the way short, and out of bounds. Possession will go back to Mount St. Vincent. And ball is put in play quickly here as Smith pulls up for 3. It's no good. Rebounded by Ferguson. Here's Rowan. Now Isaiah will run the offense for the Mounties. Going to use a Ferguson screen here. They set the back screen. They give to Monroe. Monroe, good look for 3. Shots no good. Points at a premium here early on for both sides as that ball is deflected out of bounds and possession will stay with the Mystics. 19 on the shot clock. Mount St. Vincent currently first in the conference in points per game as Smith for 3. Shot is no good. And controlled by the Mounties. Two opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of offense for these two programs. First and last. Mount St. Vincent first, Mount Allison last as Norris no good on the layup inside. And Smith coming back the other way, guarded by Rowan. He gives it up. Strong drive. And thought it was blocked by Ferguson, but they're going to call the foul instead. A strong take there from Keegan Farron. As Ferguson picks up his first, and we get our first chance to see Keegan Farron at the line for the Mystics. 6'7" forward in his second year from Bedford, Nova Scotia. Good on the first. Mount St. Vincent on a little bit of a slide here. They've lost 3 of 4 since the Christmas break. but as previously mentioned, still a very high-powered offense, first in points and in field goal percentage. As Farron good on both free throws there. Mystics 11, Mounties 9 with just over 3 to play here in the first quarter. As Rowan looks to go inside to Ferguson and does. Ferguson draws the double, spins out of it, nearly finished with the right hand. Battle for the rebound, controlled by Farron. As the Mystics push ahead, and it's Callahan with the finish inside. Nice pass there from Tynes to set him up. And the Mystics have their largest lead of the night at 4. Here's Isaiah. Isaiah on the drive, gets into the lane, shot no good. Rebounded again by Farron. Smith pitches it ahead to Jackson Smith. And a charge. Jonas Monroe getting himself set just above the restricted line there. Sacrificing his body for the team, getting the offensive foul call on Smith, who picks up his first. And possession will go back to Mount A. And the bonus will go to Mount A as well. Next defensive foul, we'll see free throws for the Mounties. Here is Monroe. Tries to go inside to Ferguson. It was tipped. Gives to Powder. Ferguson in the corner. Now goes inside to Monroe. Not a lot of space to work. Tynes is right there. And a turnover. As Callahan turns it over back down the other way. And Rowan will bring it back for the Mounties. Tim Ellison getting ready to check back into the game. Here's Ferguson working out of the high post. Looked for Powder, couldn't find him. Now he'll set a ball screen for Rowan. Rowan attacks the hedge. Rowan tries to get downhill middle, and a foul called on Jaden Smith. He's not happy with the call. He picks up his second and will head to the bench, presumably for the remainder of the quarter and likely much of the second to protect him for the second half. And we will get a chance to see Keith Rowan at the free throw line for the first time this evening. Keith is in his first year from Ottawa, Ontario, the nation's capital.
Yeah, we also have a shout out from Jamie Rowan. Let's go Mounties.
Shout out to the Rowan family tuning in this evening. As Rowan good on the free throw there to cut the deficit to 2. Here is Tynes up top, working on Ferguson. Spins in the lane, pretty move, couldn't get the finish. $1 million move with a 10-cent finish there from Chase Tynes. Possession will stay with the Mystics. Matheson gives to Tynes. Ball stripped and controlled by the Mounties with Rowan on the far side. Rowan uses the Ellison screen. They try to get the lob. They can't get it. Here's Norris. Norris will try a 3-ball. Got it! Ryan Norris rattles home the 3 from the opposite 45 and restores the Mountie lead. 14-13 with just under a minute and a half to play. Here is Tynes up top. He's going to work on Ferguson. They give here to Matheson. Guarded by Norris. Swipe there from Ferguson. Couldn't get the ball. Back to Tynes. A 3-ball on the way. Missed everything. Chase Tynes having a rough first quarter. A couple of missed shots. A technical foul. Not someone you want to allow to get into the game, though, Ian. No,
the thing is, though, you got to try and keep him off his game as much as possible. And the other concept right now is, Jaden Smith will be back in as soon as Coach DePalma can figure and get in here, because his driving into the lane on offensive end is key for them.
Absolutely. As Ellison tries a 3 down the other way, off the backboard, no good, and rebounded by Matheson as we're under 1 minute to play here. Mystics likely to go 2 for 1 here. Callahan gives it up to Tynes. Tynes trying to get some speed downhill, gives it up. It's Farron on the inside, working on Ellison, and a foul. Charge that foul to number 22, Tim Ellison of the Mounties. He picks up his first of the quarter. And we see Keegan Farron back at the free throw line for the Mystics. Second time at the line here in this quarter, as he's good on the first. He's 3 of 3 so far. Not trying to hit him with the announcer jinx, but he survives that time. Hits 2 of 2, and the Mystics lead by 1. Rowan working in the horn set. Tries to give to Ellison. Miscommunication. And the ball goes off the leg of Isaac Matheson and out of bounds. So the Mounties get away with one there. Shot clock now turned off. Just under 15 seconds. So the Mounties have time to get the ball over and run a set that they like. Don't need to rush it here. Rowan up top. 9, 8 on the shot clock. Rowan gives to Ferguson up top. Drives with the right hand. Gives it up. It's Powder. Top of the key. 3 ball. Off the iron and out. And we have reached the end of the first quarter here at the McCormick Gymnasium in Sackville. We've had a good one so far. A defensive battle. The Mystics leading by 1, 15-14 over the Mounties. We will be back in 2 minutes. Welcome back to the McCormick Gymnasium here on the campus of Mount Allison University as we are seconds away from the start of the second quarter. And the visiting Mystics with a slim advantage over the Mounties, currently leading by 1, a score of 15-14. Pretty good defense there in the first quarter by the Mounties. As mentioned previously, this is a team that averages better than 90 points a night. So holding them to 15.25, currently on pace for 60, is a great job defensively by the Mounties.
Yeah, Mounties were definitely played solid defensive ball there, and even against defense like that, Mount is normally going to be shooting better than they were today. Great move inside by Ellison, lays the ball up for an easy 2.
Great action there from the Mounties to restore the lead, as Callahan will bring it back across the timeline for the Mystics. He gives to Tynes. Ferguson guarding him on the perimeter. Nice back cut there by Matheson. Couldn't get the finish. And Rowan will come back the other way for the Mounties. Rowan gives to Ellison in transition. Ellison gets himself into the paint. Can't finish with the right hand, but the basket's going to count as Tynes slap the backboard. They'll call that basket interference. And the Mounties now lead by 3. As Jonas Monroe will check back into the action, replacing Ryan Norris. Here is Tynes up top. Gives to Callahan. Matheson on the cut. Gives it back out. Callahan, 3 ball on the way. He got it. He's got the shooting sleeves and he's got the shooting touch right now. Ties the game at 18. Rowan goes inside to Ellison. They try to bring the double. Ellison too strong and finishes with the right hand to restore the advantage for Mount A. Here is Tynes. Handoff here for Callahan. Nice little 2-man game, but a great job of getting his arm in the way there was Ferguson, creating the turnover for the Mounties. Here's Rowan. Gives to Monroe. They go to Ellison. Ellison on the keeper. Gets himself into the paint. Tough shot. No good. Batted around. Saved by Ferguson to Ellison. And he missed the layup inside and one. A roller coaster possession there for the Mounties. Ferguson saved it. Ellison missed the first layup. He was just trying to pad his stats, I think, Ian. He wanted an offensive rebound. He got the finish, and he has forced a timeout from head coach De Palma of the Mystics.
Yeah, no, it's just Mounties are doing everything right in this game. I knew coming in it was going to be tough for them to, just based upon the scoring averages so far this season, it was going to be tough for them to stay with this one, but they're doing what they need to do. They have to play solid, consistent defense, and they're going to have to do that for at least 38 minutes out of 40 if they're going to make sure this game stays close. The offensive end, they're given the same amount of hustle. They're getting the ball. They're getting second chance points, and they're just They're taking advantage of the chances they're getting.
Ian, I think we can both agree that this is a different Mountie team than we saw prior to the December break.
Oh.
This is with the one addition of Gaio Isaiah, this team has completely turned it around from a defensive standpoint, from an energy standpoint. You can feel the excitement of this team getting ready to host a national tournament in March.
Yeah, even over the course of the last 3 weeks, just the change in their attitude on the court has been phenomenal. And it's nice. It's where they need. It's just they need to get out of their own heads, and just so they can stay in the game.
And we come out of the timeout. Ellison will have one at the free throw line here for the Mounties, looking to complete the old-fashioned three-point play. Free throw too strong, but he gets his own rebound, bullies his way inside, and finishes.
Nope.
But a travel called by the back official there.
Yeah, furthest guy from the play, but he was the only one that had a clear view of where Ellison's feet were.
Possession going back to the Mystics here. 4-point Mount A lead. Still early on here in the second quarter. As Matheson brings it across the timeline, he was harassed by Sir in the backcourt. Great defense there from Eddie. Matheson gets open for three. Shot's no good. Rebounded by Powder. And Sir will push the other way for the Mounties. Sir gives to Monroe. Monroe on the drive. Kicks out. Powder tries to attack middle. Nothing there. Goes cross court to Isaiah. Isaiah hands off. Powder attacks left. Gets himself in the paint. Floater with the right hand. No good. Ball is batted around and controlled by Matheson, who unfortunately I think has hurt himself. He's limping across the timeline as Callahan gives it up. Smith on the inside tries to find Matheson. Kicks it out. On the drive, gives to Tynes. Ball stripped. And look out. Isaiah all alone finishes with the two-hand jam. Gaio Isaiah getting the crowd on their feet here. Biggest lead of the day for the Mounties. They're ahead by 6. A three ball on the way. Good. Jackson Smith, a deep three ball. The response. Monroe trying to go to Ellison. Denied by Tynes. Powder attacks baseline. Reverse layup on the way. No good. Fighting for the rebound is Tynes, and he comes up with it. Here is Smith. Gets all the way to the rim and finishes with the right hand. And a timeout from head coach Steve Chapman. A quick 5-0 run after the dunk from Isaiah has brought the Mountie lead from 6 all the way back down to 1, Ian.
It almost seems like that dunk by Isaiah woke up the Mystics more than it did the Mount A fans and the players. This one, like right now, Coach Chapman wants to make sure that he wants to try and stall this, basically the run that Mystics are on right now, because they're a team that if they get in on track and focused offensively, they are tough to stop.
Score, stop, score. The recipe for a timeout. Good decision there by Coach Chapman. In speaking with Chap today, his thoughts on Mount St. Vincent, he's called them an elite team despite their recent results, saying that they play fast, they lead the league in scoring, but that he's confident in his group, winners of 4 of 5, asking his guys to stay the course and be at their best when it matters most.
Yeah, we've got a couple of notes in here on the YouTube chat line from former Mountie players. Nathan Eyre, who's originally from Sackville, played for Mounties when he was here. Said, "Go Mounties, look good." Hi, Ian. Hello, Nathan. Good to hear from you. He's also said, as we did note on the broadcast, their Mounties are looking so much better the last couple of weeks. High intensity, confidence, chemistry. So nice to see.
Definitely great to see. It was a tough start to the year for the Mounties. Another thing that Coach Chapman spoke with me about, 9 different players have dealt with injuries this year for the Mounties, some significant, including fifth-year captain Emmanuel Adunya, who's missed the whole year with an ACL tear.
Yeah, they've been far more injury-riddled than usual. There's usually 1 or 2 bodies not healthy, but this year's been a little over the top.
As Sir, I believe, is called for the moving screen there. As he picks up his first foul and possession will go back to the Mystics. Coach Chapman can't be happy with that out of the timeout. Here is Smith. Caden Augustin on the floor for the first time for the Mounties today. Jaden Smith on the drive, gets past Sir into the lane. Tough finish with the left hand, no good. Chase Tynes there to put it back and restore the Mystic lead. It's a 7-0 run here in the last minute for Mount St. Vincent. Here is Augustin. Tries to go to Sir, and we got a jump ball. Possession will go the way of Mount St. Vincent. So a couple of mental lapses here from the Mounties out of that timeout. Mystics ramping up the pressure here. They're probably in a tighter game than they imagined at this point. And a foul on Augustin.
Oh.
He picks up his first.
Yeah, he looked a little confused in that one, but the official saw the hand check. Basically, just for that split second, he did have both hands on the offensive player, and that's an absolute no-no.
Here is Callahan for the Mystics. Uses the Tynes screen. Tynes wants the ball. Callahan drives baseline, kicks it out. A 3-ball, top of the key is good. Sam Gilmore for 3. And the Mystic lead back up to 4. It's a 10-0 run here from Mount St. Vincent in midway as we approach the midway point of the second quarter. Sir, a lot of contact inside. No call. Possession will stay with the Mounties, however. 14 on the shot clock. Sir gives to Monroe. Here's Ellison. He's going to try a 3-ball. Too strong. Rebounded by Isaiah. Sir is going to try a 3. That's too strong. Rebounded by Jaden Smith. Smith pushing in transition. He's got numbers. Kicks it to Callahan. A 3-ball short. Long rebound controlled by Augustin. 3-on-2 here for the Mounties. Isaiah gets himself into the paint. Kicks it out. Eddie Sir for 3. No good. And rebounded by Smith. And a foul. So Augustin, if it's on him, it's his second in nearly as many possessions. So unfortunately a quick sub for the first-year guard as his city mate Keith Rowan will check back into the game in his place. Both first-year guards from Ottawa.
Note in here, we got Nick Matheson, Go Mystics, former player for down there, if I remember, or a former player, no, be dad or brother of Isaac, second-year point guard at Bedford. Yep.
Shout out to our Mystics fans tonight as well. Mystics having a great season so far, looking to continue it tonight here at Mount Allison. Shot inside was no good. Callahan missed the rebound off the offensive board. Couldn't get the putback to fall, and possession goes back to the Mounties. Here is Monroe. Hand off to Sir. Uses the Ellison screen, gets middle. Pull up on the way, in and out. Batted around, and possession will stay with the Mounties. Now, with most guys, you probably don't like that mid-range pull-up. That is Eddie's game without question. Here's Monroe. Gives to Ellison. Nice little slice screen action there for Isaiah as he finishes with the right hand. Deficit back to 2. Mounties trying to stop this Mystic run. It's Matheson on the drive. Blocked by Monroe. Monroe back the other way. No numbers. He's going to take it all the way inside. Shots no good. Ellison inside, no. And we've got a foul on the ground. That's charged to Tim Ellison, so he picks up his second. So an interesting decision here for Coach Chapman. 4:08 to go here in the second quarter. Coach Ellison is telling him he's good. Sorry, Tim Ellison is telling Coach Chapman that he's good.
However,
Not sending
Ferguson,
Tim Ellison to the coaching ranks too early.
Yeah,
We still
however,
want to see him on the floor.
and Ferguson did come in for Ellison, though.
Ferguson checking in. Ferguson's got one also, so something to watch here. As strong side help from Ferguson leads to the open three, but no good was Gilmore. Here's Isaiah, full head of steam. Tries to dish it off to Ferguson. A lot of hands touched it. Last hand that touched it was in a garnet jersey, and possession will go to the Mystics. Here is Tynes back the other way. Under 4 to play here in the second quarter. Mystics leading by 2. This is Jackson Smith, the leading scorer for the Mystics, working on Monroe. Smith gets himself inside and finishes with the right hand. Smith, an undersized forward, using his strength there against Monroe to extend the lead to 4. Here's Sir, gets himself in the lane, looking for Ferguson. Now kicks out to Rowan, a 3-ball on the way. Got it! Keith Rowan. A big shot there for the Mounties to cut the deficit to 1. Here is Matheson looking for Tynes and gets it to him. Ferguson guarding him in the post. Cross-court pass to Jaden Smith. Smith on the inside, fouled and 1. Jonas Monroe, you could see it a mile away, unfortunately, leaned in with both hands. Didn't quite stay vertical. And Monroe will pick up his first. Mystics now lead 32-29, and it'll be Jaden Smith at the free throw line for Mount St. Vincent.
Yeah, both Jackson and Jaden Smith have been unusually quiet so far in this game, but they both look like they're starting to wake up as that first half is coming to an end.
Smith rolls in the free throw, and the lead is back to 4. Here's Monroe. Gives to Norris. Monroe, a corner 3 on the way. Got it! Jonas Monroe, a corner 3. And they're trading buckets here in the second quarter. Mystics 33, Mounties 32. Here is Tynes up top, going to be guarded by Isaiah. They go to Jackson Smith, working on Monroe in the post again. Spins off him, tries to get left. Tries to spin back middle, now kicks it out. It's Matheson for 3. Shot was too strong and rebounded by Monroe. Here is Isaiah. And a foul on Matheson. Matheson will pick up his second. It's just the 3rd team foul of the quarter for the Mystics. Still 2 away from bonus for Mount Allison. Mount St. Vincent currently in the bonus with 2 and change to play here in the first half. Monroe up top. Looking to use the Ferguson screen and does. Gets downhill with the left hand. Tries to kick it out. Might have been tipped. It found Ferguson. Monroe inside. Had it stripped by Tynes. Tynes lost the ball. Ferguson controls it. Here's Rowan. No numbers for the Mounties. Rowan wisely pulls the ball back out. Rowan almost dropped Tynes. Couldn't drop the 3. And rebounded by Matheson. Here is Smith back the other way. Jaden Smith in the lane working on Norris. Strong take with the left hand. It's no good. Ball's batted around and controlled by Jackson Smith. Kick out. Matheson a 3. That's no good. And rebounded by Ferguson. Low field goal percentages. The story of this first half for both sides. Here is Rowan. He gives to Monroe. Monroe. Rowan. Handoff for Isaiah. Goes inside to Ferguson. Ferguson up strong with the right hand and going to the free throw line. Charge the foul to Chase Tynes. He picks up his second. And Rayshon Ferguson will head to the free throw line for Mount Allison. First one is no good. The second-year forward rookie of the year for the Mounties last year from Nassau, Bahamas. Looking to tie the game here. And does. So we're all even at 33, 1:12 to play and counting in the first half. Here is Jaden Smith. He uses a double screen. Smith, a 3-ball on the way. It's no good. Rebounded by Ferguson. Tipped. And off the leg of Ferguson. Possession will go back to the Mystics. 14 on the shot clock here in the half court. They go direct to Tynes in the post, working on Isaiah. Tynes spins, fade away, short, rebounded by Isaiah. And here is the defensive player of the year. Gives to Norris. Rowan up top. Ferguson. They're trying to get a split action. There is a miscommunication. Ferguson puts it on the floor and he's stripped. Here comes Smith back the other way. Gives to Matheson. A nice pass inside for Jackson Smith. Shot no good. Follow no good. And the third tip-in is good from Matheson. Mystics lead by 2. Shot clock turned off. Mounties will hold for the final possession of the half. 10 on the game clock. Horns look here. Rowan comes off the screen. And he stepped on the line. Coach Danny DePalma of the Mystics will call his final timeout of the half. So with 5.9 seconds, he will talk it over with his group.
Yeah, a couple more notes coming in from watchers. Michael O'Toole, who's also a former Mountie player, also played up at St. Thomas. So let's go, Gaio and Eddie, basically from the same area.
Natives.
Yep. Donald Dunn, Mounties holding their own so far. That was sort of, and it's been like that. Nope, that message came in early in the second quarter, but it's held true all the way through this half so far. They've been playing great. And Jerry Mumford, who is still watching the second half of this doubleheader, and he says, "Stick with it, Mounties. Nice D, slice screen. Thanks, Ben, Ian, and Tyler."
Thank you, Jerry. Father of Jillian Mumford. Standout forward for the women's team here at Mount Allison. To the point of the Mounties holding their own against the Mystics, I wasn't sure whether to bring up the result of the last game between these two teams. The final score of that one was 100-42 in favor of Mount St. Vincent. We have a 35-33 ball game here with 6 seconds left in the first half.
Which is why we are so pleasantly surprised and happy to see this score at the moment, and just the way they're playing on the court right now.
Correct. Here is Tynes on the far side. Tynes drives inside, Euro step floater, no good. 1 second on the clock. Rowan throws it up from three-quarter court. It is short. And we have reached the end of the first half here at Mount Allison. It's the home Mounties fighting tough against the visiting Mystics. Down by 2. We will be back in 15 minutes for the start of the second half. Thank you for watching ACAA TV. Welcome back to the McCormick Gymnasium here on the campus of Mount Allison University. It is Mount St. Vincent 35, Mount Allison 33 as we approach the start of the second half. Leading all scorers currently is number 6 of the Mystics, Chase Tynes, currently with 9 points. Leading for the Mounties is the big man, number 22, Tim Ellison, currently with 8 points and 7 rebounds. Jackson Smith, 7 points for the Mystics. Jonas Monroe, 6 for the Mounties. Guy Isaiah, 6 for the Mounties. Keith Rowan, 5 points off the bench for Mount Allison.
And speaking of Keith, another note from Jamie Rowan. Great half Mounties. Look for wide open Rowan on the side. 6th in shooting percentage in the league. Go Mounties.
Keith has been shooting the lights out recently. He has been a huge spark, especially in this second half of the year for Mount Allison. Back underway here with Monroe. Monroe drives baseline. He's cut off. Gives up top to Norris. It was nearly stolen. 11 seconds on the shot clock here for the Mounties. Norris to inbound. Here is Ellison. Isaiah gets himself into the paint. Awkward steps. Shot was no good. And out of bounds. Possession will go back to the Mystics. It'll be Isaac Matheson to bring the ball up here for Mount St. Vincent. Jackson Smith up top. He's got Monroe guarding him. Gives back to Matheson. Matheson, nice behind the back move. Dishes it to Tynes and the finish. Pretty play there from Mount St. Vincent to extend the lead to 4. Sir. Gives to Monroe. Uses the Ellison screen. A 3-ball on the way. Too strong. Ball's batted around. Tynes dives on it. And he was out of bounds. So possession will stay with Mount Allison.
Great effort, though. Great effort to try and stay on that ball.
Great effort from Tynes. It was a tough first half to start for him. Picked up an early technical foul. Couple of missed shots, but he has settled into this game, and he'll be a big factor in whether or not the Mystics can grind out this road win. Here's Norris. Monroe. Isaiah gives to Sir. Sir on the drive. Cut off. Fade away. No good. Ellison back underneath. He finishes. Tim Ellison with the O-board and the putback. Brings the game back to 2. Here is Tynes up top. Gives to Smith. Smith using the Tynes screen. A 3-ball on the way. Short. And rebounded by Isaiah. Here is Sir back the other way. Sir gives to Norris. They try to go inside to Ellison. He's guarded by Tynes. They can't get it to him. Isaiah. Monroe, 3-ball from the 45. No good. Rebounded by Jaden Smith. Pushes it ahead to Jackson Smith. Working on Isaiah. Gives to Tynes. Matheson drives baseline. Cut off by Norris. They get the switch. Monroe tipped it out of bounds. Possession will stay with the Mystics. 12 seconds on the shot clock here for Mount St. Vincent. Jaden Smith. Matheson. 3-ball off the front rim there from Sam Gillette. And it's Norris back the other way for the Mounties. Sir working on Tynes. Trying to clear the side out for Ellison. Sir, now he's going to attack middle. Kicks out. Norris, 3-ball from the corner. Rattles around. No good. Ellison had his hands on it for a second. Couldn't come up with a rebound. They go inside. Nice pass. Finish wasn't there. Second opportunity, no good. Beautiful pass there from Jackson Smith. Just couldn't get the finish there from Gillette. Here is Monroe. Isaiah drives. Now brings it back out. Kicks to Sir for 3. No good. Batted around, and Smith will control it for the Mystics. Here is Tynes. He wants a clear out. He wants to take the first-year Norris all by himself. Tynes attacks baseline. Norris does a good job cutting him off. Kicks it out. Smith a three. No good. Rebounded by Ellison. No numbers for the Mounties. Monroe will wisely give to Sir, who tries to slow it down. They go inside to Ellison. Ellison, hook shot is good. We've got a tie ball game here. 3.5 minutes into the third quarter. Very little offense. We've seen just 6 points combined from both sides in the first 3.5 minutes. But the game is tied. A three ball's on the way, and it's down. Jaden Smith for three. His first three ball of the night puts the Mystics back ahead. Here's Sir. This is Norris on the drive. Gets middle, left hand, finish, and the foul. Ryan Norris with a strong take and a difficult finish with the left hand. Got it to roll in, and he's going to get one more at the line. Ryan, another Ottawa native here on this Mounties team. No good on the free throw. As we pass under the 6-minute mark of the third quarter. And similar call to earlier in the game. Norris had two hands on his hip there. Gets charged, called for the foul there. He picks up his first. And we have a timeout on the floor called by Coach Chapman of the Mounties. We will be back in 60 seconds. Welcome back to the McCormick Gymnasium. We've got a good one brewing here, especially if you like defensive affairs. It is Mystics 40, Mounties 39, 5:55 to play here in the third quarter.
Yeah, both teams are sure always shooting a little bit lower than they normally would percentage-wise, Mount St. Vincent in particular. But it's both teams are playing solid, aggressive defense all over the court.
It's got the feel of a playoff matchup, I'll say that, Ian. Strong drive here from Gillette, blocked by Isaiah. And we've got a foul on Tim Ellison. And Ellison picks up his third, which will send Gillette to the free throw line. Monroe discussing with the official. I think the majority of the people in the gym thought it was clean. Referee did not agree. And Gillette at the free throw line for Mount St. Vincent. The second is no good. Rebounded by Ellison. Here's Sir. Gives to Monroe. Monroe, they go inside to Isaiah. Isaiah trying to finish with the right hand. Shot's no good. Rebounded by Gillette. Tynes pushing with speed the other way. Goes cross court to Matheson. Matheson drives middle. Strong take. Stripped of the ball. Possession will stay with Mount St. Vincent. And 16 seconds on the shot clock. As we see Rayshawn Ferguson and Keith Rowan checking back into the game for the Mounties. Eddie Sir and Tim Ellison, the ones to make way. Baseline out of bounds opportunity for the Mystics. Here is Jackson Smith, guarded by Monroe. Offensive foul. Smith hooked him. He picks up his second foul. Pretty good defense there from Jonas Monroe out on the perimeter. And he gets a possession back for the Mounties. Here is Monroe. Gives to Norris. Tried to go inside to Ferguson. Ball's batted around. They find Isaiah. Now Ferguson. Shot no good with the right hand. Norris, he can't finish with the right hand. And controlled by Mount St. Vincent. A broken play nearly resulted in points, but now the Mystics back the other way in a turnover. Turnovers all over the floor here in the past minute. Basketball is not always beautiful, and the last 30 seconds have proved that. Here is Jaden Smith for Mount St. Vincent. Good aggressive switch there from Rowan. Here's Gillette. Matheson up top. Matheson working on Norris. Tries to drive left. A tough shot. Rolls around. Shot no good. Rebounded by Isaiah. Isaiah gives to Monroe. Rowan. Looking to go inside. He goes to Monroe instead. He's going to try a corner three that's too strong. And rebounded on the weak side by Smith. Great pass ahead and a foul. A tough fall there from Smith. We hope he's okay. But a great find in the backcourt. Or from the backcourt, I should say, from Jackson Smith. Jaden Smith walking off the tough fall there. He seems to be all good. Charge the foul to number 6 of the Mounties, Jonas Monroe. He picks up his second. Third team foul of the quarter for Mount Allison. And Jaden Smith will shoot 2 at the free throw line. Smith, no good on the first. A fourth-year guard from Beachville, Nova Scotia. An interesting note about this Mount St. Vincent team that was pointed out to me by our color analyst Ian Allen earlier on. Each member of this team was born in the province of Nova Scotia.
Yeah, even
a lot of homegrown talent.
ACAA or AUS, that's still really unusual to have that high, like to have all the players from the province that the school is actually located in.
Certainly not the makeup of the Mountie roster.
No, we're all over the map there, boys.
All over the map. Here is Powder driving baseline. Floater, no good. And stripped by Matheson. Tries to pitch it ahead to Smith. He finds him. Here's Gillette. Tries to go inside to Tynes, and it's off the foot of Chase Tynes and out of bounds. To the previous point, just 4 Mounties from the province of New Brunswick. Eddie Sir, Jonas Monroe, Brody Richardson, and the new guy, Gaio Isaiah.
Yeah, we've got players all the way from Halifax to Brooks, Alberta, and Victoria, BC, and Nassau, Bahamas.
All over the map, as Ian said.
Yeah, it just it gives you a pretty good picture of what kind of student population we have here as well, not just within the guys' basketball team.
Sideline out of bounds opportunity for the Mystics here. It's Callahan on the far side. Drives on Ferguson. Kicks out. Jaden Smith, open 3. It's off front rim and rebounded by Isaiah. Isaiah calling out what he wants. Ferguson. Monroe stripped by Smith. 1-on-1, and he'll finish with the right hand. I thought Isaiah might try to get the highlight reel block. He plays it safe, and the Mystics lead by 5. Here is Monroe. Isaiah. Powder. Powder drives middle. Floater in the lane is good. Touched every part of the rim and fell through. Mounties cut the deficit to 3. We're under 2.5 to play here in the third quarter. 44-41, Mount St. Vincent our score. Here is Tynes. Tynes, guarded by Ferguson, gives to Jackson Smith. A little 2-man action here, and Tynes finishes with the right hand. Mystic lead back to 5. Here is Rowan. Looking to use the Powder screen and does. Hands off with Isaiah. Monroe thinks about the 3. Now goes to Rowan. Rowan jabs baseline and attacks middle. Nice crossover in the lane. He was stripped of it, but Isaiah gets it back. 5 on the shot clock here for the Mounties. Rowan's got to make something happen. Ferguson, jumper on the way. Got it. Rayshawn Ferguson at the end of the shot clock. 2 points for the Mounties. Mystics back the other way with Smith. on the inside. Ball is up, no good. Rebound controlled by Rowan. Mounties have a chance to tie here with a 3. Rowan, guarded by Tynes, gives to Isaiah. Isaiah gets himself downhill, tries to give to Ferguson. Ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Mount St. Vincent. So it'll be Mountie ball on the baseline with 12 seconds on the shot clock. Just 1:18 left in the quarter. This third quarter has really flown by. They pop out Powder. Here is Ferguson. Rowan. 6 on the shot clock. Thought about the step back. Powder gives inside to Sir. A fadeaway. It's no good. Batted around. Controlled by, still not controlled by anybody. Last touched by the Mystics. And another opportunity for the Mounties here. Sideline out of bounds with 14 on the shot clock. A fresh 14. Here's Rowan. Uses the Ferguson screen and gets a switch. Rowan drives left, kicks out. Powder, 3 ball on the way. Strong, no good. Batted out, and another offensive rebound for the Mounties. Keeping themselves in this one with multiple opportunities at the offensive end. Here's Sir, gets himself into the paint, and he traveled. So Sir called for the travel there. And with just under 41 seconds to play here in the third quarter, got to think Mystics will likely go 2 for 1 here. Currently leading by 3. Here is Tynes. Gives to Matheson. It's Smith. Tries to go to Tynes. Ball's on the floor. They get it out to Callahan. Callahan kicks out. A 3 ball from the corner is no good off back iron. And shot clock turned off for the Mounties. They will hold for the final possession of the third quarter. It's Eddie Sir up top. Coach Chapman directing traffic. They go with the yo-yo action. Uses the Ferguson screen. Sir kicks it. Rowan, 1 dribble, 3 ball on the way. No good. Rebounded on the weak side by Gilmore. And we have reached the end of the third quarter. The third quarter, much the same as the first and the second in terms of a defensive battle. Mount Allison scoring just 10 points in the third quarter. Mount St. Vincent scoring just 11, Ian.
Yeah, no, it's, I said, like, a lot of people want to see, they think they want to get their bang for the buck. Think they get the bang for their buck by actually having a lot of points scored to the board. This is still great basketball to watch because you're seeing players. It looks like there's a lot of mistakes happening up there, but it's forced errors. The defense on both sides are basically creating the errors for the offensive teams, and it's nice to see that level of solid aggressive play at both ends of the court by both teams. It's a great game to watch right now.
It really has been a fun one to watch, especially if you're a basketball purist. The defensive battle has been a joy for us. We're coming towards the end of the regular season here in the ACAA. We're just a few weeks away from the conference tournament, March 1st to 3rd in Charlottetown, hosted by Holland College. Mount St. Vincent, as previously mentioned, currently sitting at 2nd in the conference. That would be good enough to get them a bye and not play on the Friday afternoon. They may very well see these same Mounties at some point in that tournament, depending on how everything shakes down over these last 3 games that the Mounties will play after this. On the road at UNBSJ Saturday the 17th, at home against the University of King's College, still looking for their first win on February 18th, and closing their season in Fredericton on the 23rd against the Tommies. Tough matchup there for the Mounties against one of the top teams in the nation.
Or you look at it as a good playoff warm-up.
Or you look at it that way. Absolutely. Mounties will host the best in the nation here in March at the CCAA Men's Basketball National Championship. Tournament pass is currently on sale for anyone who is so inclined. But we've got 10 more minutes of basketball here at the McCormick Gymnasium. Mystics 46, Mounties 43. The last 10 minutes should be fun. The first 30 certainly have been. Here is Matheson. Up top, this is Farron. Farron gives to Matheson, uses the screen. Matheson, a pull-up on the way, no good. Rebounded by Ellison. He gives to Rowan. Keith Rowan across the timeline for Mount A. Gives to Eddie Sur. Ferguson. Norris uses the Ferguson screen. Nice crossover. Gets himself into the lane. A lot of contact and a foul. Ryan Norris heading to the free throw line for the Mounties. Chance to make this a 1-point game. Charge the foul to number 14 of the Mystics, Sam Gilmore. He picks up his first. First team foul of the quarter. Norris good on the first free throw. Norris in his first year from Ottawa, Ontario. Product of the Brockville Blazers in the Thousand Islands in Ontario. Here is Matheson. Matheson drives on Sur. Matheson gets all the way to the rim, can't finish. Farron gets the offensive rebound. Nice extra pass. The drive is no good. Out of bounds off of Gilmore. Possession will go back to the Mounties and a chance to take the lead for the first time here in the second half. Here is Rowan. Horns look here. They give to Ferguson. Ellison dives in. Ellison working inside, puts it up, no good. Batted around, controlled by the Mystics with Matheson. No numbers, he's going to push it all the way to the rim, no good. Ball was tipped and out of bounds off the hands of Ryan Norris. Assistant coach Doug Thomas telling his guys, grab it with two hands, fellas. Here's Farron. Gives to Matheson. Callahan. Drive middle. Gets himself in the lane. Tough runner with the right hand, and he gets the foul call. And that will be charged to number 24 of the Mounties, Rayshon Ferguson. And so we will see Adam Callahan at the free throw line for the first time tonight. Good on the first. Third-year guard from Sydney, Nova Scotia on Cape Breton Island. Mystics now leading by 3. 8.5 to play here in the fourth quarter. Sur. Rowan. They go inside to Ellison. Ellison working one-on-one. Gives it up to Ferguson. He's working on Smith. Ferguson goes up with the right hand. It's no good. Batted around. Controlled by Mount St. Vincent. Here comes Jackson Smith back the other way. Cross-court pass to Callahan. Whips it inside to Gilmore. It comes back out. Here's Matheson. He stepped on the line. And possession will go back to Mount A. As we see Jonas Monroe checking back into the game for the Mounties. Here is Rowan. Sur gives to Ellison. One-on-one with Farron. Nice cut from Rowan. They couldn't find him. Ball's on the floor. And out of bounds. Last touched by Jackson Smith.
Great effort by Norris to knock down that pass because it was a free basket down at the other end.
It was a touchdown pass for sure. Norris using his length and athleticism at 6'6" to deflect that pass and get another opportunity for the Mounties on the offensive end. 14 on the shot clock, sideline out of bounds here for Mount Allison. Isaiah to trigger in. Here's Ellison. Norris tries a three. Off back rim, and no good. Here is Jaden Smith. Ball tipped again by Norris, and a steal by Monroe, and a foul. Charge the foul to Keegan Farron. He picks up his first. Second team foul of the fourth quarter. Ryan Norris, back-to-back possessions, having big impacts on the defensive end, creating opportunities for this Mounties team who have struggled to score the ball tonight, but they have really picked it up on the defensive end and have hung tough against one of the best teams in the country. Here is Sir. Norris on the drive, dishes off to Ellison. Ellison inside, no good. And a foul inside. Ellison's going to the free throw line for 2.
Coach DePalma is definitely questioning that one, and I think mostly just because of how late that was, because the ball was already down, rebounded, and hit the third set of hands by the time that call was made on the shot.
Charge the foul to number 6 of the Mystics, Chase Tynes, as Ellison is good on the first free throw. The third-year forward from Citadel High School in Halifax, hoping to beat the team from his hometown. Here is Callahan. Slice screen here for Tynes. Tynes has got it in the mid-post against Isaiah. They're battling. Tynes inside, finishes with the right hand. Tynes wins the matchup there against the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, and the Mystics lead is back up to 3. Here is Isaiah. Gives to Norris. Norris gives to Monroe. Monroe, tough shot, got it! He thought he was fouled. Not happy that he didn't get the and one, but the Mounties have cut the deficit to 1. Here is Tynes up top, guarded by Isaiah. Gives to Smith on the far side, drives on Sir. He kicks it out. Callahan, a 3-ball, and 1!
We're starting to see the Mystics outside shooting start waking up and coming to life again. Not a good sign for the Mounties, but it sort of had a couple little spurts earlier in the game, but then the Mounties were able to shut things down again. Hopefully they can do that in the next 6 minutes, over the next 6 minutes.
An absolute back-breaking 4-point play there if you're a fan of the Mounties, as Callahan is good on the free throw. He counted to 4 when he made the shot, and he backed it up by making the free throw. Here is Ellison. Good cut there by Norris, and the finish. Back to a 1-possession game. Tynes telling his guys, slow down. He's got the ball at the top, guarded by Isaiah. He gives to Smith. Smith drives middle. They try to go to Callahan and get it to him. And a tough finish inside by Adam Callahan.
Callahan's, he's lit up in his fourth quarter. Was just confusingly quiet from him in the first, especially in the first half. But he seems to have come to light. Those shots that were just missing by Bitter. Dropping
and
out.
1! Ryan Norris. The response. A big-time 3 from the corner in front of the Mountie bench. The crowd on the far side is loving it. Norris with a chance to make it a 1-point game. Not to mention the beautiful cross-court pass from Tim Ellison there on a rope.
Yeah,
straight into the shooting pocket for Norris.
Yeah, as impressive as that shot was, the fact that Ellison saw him and got it to him in a perfectly positioned pass. He didn't have to reset for the shot. He just put it up.
And Norris good on the free throw. And we're back to a 1-point game. Just over 5.5 to play here. This is Matheson. Gives to Tynes. Tynes working on Isaiah. Spins out of it. And a foul. On Gaio Isaiah. Another late call, we will say. And possession will stay with Mount St. Vincent. Here is Tynes posting up. Jaden Smith gives it up. Callahan, he's going to try another. No good. Ball's on the floor. Controlled by Sir. Sir. Monroe. Chance for the Mounties to take the lead for the first time in the second half. It's Norris on the drive. Strong take. No good. And a foul inside. And Tim Ellison will go to the free throw line with a chance to give the Mounties the lead.
Yeah, not what you call a traditional shot, but because he went up and actually tipped the ball towards the net, it's considered to be inactive shooting. Good hit on the arm. Free throws away. Free throws are coming.
Ellison good on the first. And we've got a tie ball game here with 5:10 to play. One more for the big fella. Looking to give the Mounties their first lead of the second half. And does. Second lead of the second half. Thank you, Ian, for that. Getting ahead of myself here. 57-56 Mount Allison. Matheson on the drive. Shot's no good. Rebounded by Ellison. We're under the 5 minute to play mark here in this one. Mounties 57, Mystics 56. Norris, a 3-ball in front of the bench. No good. And rebounded by Matheson. Tynes looking to push the other way. Tynes, stutter step, gets himself into the lane, throws it up, and he's headed to the free throw line for 2 more.
Tynes was definitely a little bit out of control on that drive, but the contact was there. Foul did need to be called.
There's a good aggressive take there by Tynes.
Yeah.
Control or no control, he got himself to a good spot and forced the foul from Sir. And Tynes will head to the free throw line with a chance to give his squad the lead back. No good on the first. And he hears it from the Mountie faithful on the far side. They're looking for one more miss. If you're a Mystics fan, you're looking for him to tie the game here. And off front rim. Rebound control by Monroe. Here's Sir. Sir gives to Norris. They go inside to Ellison. He's got Tynes one-on-one. Another beautiful cross-court pass. The shot from Monroe is short. Not sure what happened there from Monroe. Usually a pretty good three-point shooter. That one off the mark that time.
Yeah, not sure, but at times is also questioning the official on that one. When Ellison got his hands on that rebound, there was some argument for an over-the-back call, but the official didn't think it may have any effect on the play, so he let it go.
Tynes up top, guarded by Isaiah. Gives to Smith. Now Jackson Smith going to try a 3. In and out. Rebounded by Isaiah. And the Mounties will slow it down. Here is Sir. Trying to use the Ellison screen. It does. Sir, a pull-up on the way. No good. Rebounded by Isaiah. Norris. No good. And rebounded by Tynes.
Yeah, Norris rushed the shot a little bit. It was still a good shot to take. Maybe just slow down just a hair. It might have been a little more under control.
Matheson gets himself into the paint. Kicks it out to Smith. Smith on the drive. Shot no good. Rebounded by Ellison.
Yep, more solid defense. Forcing changes to shot patterns. So it's good to see.
57-56 our score. 3.5 to play. Monroe, open 3. Bang! Jonas Monroe with the biggest shot of the game. Potentially the biggest shot of the season so far for the Mounties. It's a 4-point lead for Mount Allison. Timeout called by Mount St. Vincent.
As much as I'd like to, we've got the crowd that's in here is loving this game so far because it's tight ball game, back and forth, good key shots, key defense. I just kind of wish we had a bit of slightly larger crowd out, but I know we've got a pretty decent. All sorts of notes. Pretty decent crowd watching. We've got about 130 online actually watching this right now. Quick rundown of some more notes. Nathan Ayer, this is a 90s basketball score. Love it. Basically, solid defense. Carolyn Vincent, let's go Mounties. Hi, Tyler and Ian.
Hi, Mom.
And Jamie Rowan, right on. This is great basketball. Mounties sticking to it and hope they come out on top. Go Mounties. Gene Smith. Go number 25. And that would be for Isaiah.
Shout out there for Gaio.
Yep.
And a big thank you to all of us joining on ACAA TV or the YouTube stream. We thank you for being part of our live stream. We couldn't do it without you. If you've been with us the whole ride, you've been treated to a good one this evening. Back and forth. The Mystics and the Mounties. Mystics currently trailing by 4. It's their largest deficit of the second half. Here is Tynes up top. He's going to be guarded by Ellison. Tynes gets himself downhill into the paint. And a travel. Tynes is not happy with that call. He's got to be careful. He's already got one tech. Ref lets it go. Mountie ball, 3:13 to play. We see the press look here from the Mystics. Just looks like a man-to-man look here. Here is Sir. Rowan. Isaiah gives to Monroe. Monroe drives left, gets himself into the lane. A tough shot is no good. Ball's on the floor. Who wants it more? And it's Mount St. Vincent that comes away with it with Smith. Smith gives to Matheson, drives baseline, cut off there by Monroe. Throws it back out. 13 on the shot clock. Jackson Smith drives into the lane. Floater, no good. Rebounded by Ellison. As we come under 2.5 minutes to play. Mounties 60, Mystics 56. Here is Isaiah. And an offensive foul on Tim Ellison. So something to note here. 2:22 to play in this game. Don't want to say it, but potentially 5 minutes more of overtime. Tim Ellison has picked up his fourth foul.
Yeah, he's just leaning just a little too much pressure in on the defensive player trying to cut over the screen.
Here's Matheson on the drive. This is Jackson Smith working on Rowan. Smith gets a foul, and he's going to the free throw line for 2. Strong take there from Smith, drawing the foul from Rowan. It's a fourth-year forward against a first-year guard, and sometimes those things happen with experience. Smith good on the first. The Mountie faithful trying to make as much noise as they possibly can. 2:07 to play. Mystics trailing by 3. Smith good on both. And we've got a 2-point game as we come under the 2 minute to play mark. Here is Monroe. They're looking to go to Ellison. Tynes doing a good job full fronting. Here is Sir. And a foul, I believe, away from the ball. But we are in a penalty situation. So Tynes picks up his fourth foul. So another noteworthy player in foul trouble there. And with 1:54 to play, Tim Ellison goes to the line 4-2. Good on the first. And a chance to make it a 2-possession game once again here. Good on both. 62-58 our score. 150 and counting. Here is Callahan. Smith, a corner 3. It's good. Right in front of the Mountie bench. And a technical foul on Smith. He couldn't keep his mouth shut after he hit the 3, and now we got a technical free throw for the Mounties. We had a comment on the live stream about how this is a 90s style matchup. I would concur. These two teams are absolutely fighting tooth and nail for this one. The Mounties looking to keep the good times rolling. They won 4 of 5. Mystics losers of 3 of their last 4. Norris good on the technical free throw.
Yeah, a couple of them learned. The Jean Smith is actually Gaio's sister. She's watching from Toronto, enjoying the game. Nathan Ayers says, great job on the broadcast, guys. Fun game. And we have a couple of people who are not necessarily thrilled with some of the calls the officials are making, but that's all we can say.
That is all we can say. I will not comment on the officiating. Nope. Here is Monroe. Pull up. It was blocked by Tynes. Ball's on the floor and controlled by Tynes. Here is Matheson back the other way. Tynes up top, guarded by Ellison. Finds a cutting Smith, and Smith, no good. It rolled around and out, and possession will go back to the Mounties. 66 seconds left in this one. Mounties 63, Mystics 61. And they're going to double Sir, the main ball handler for Mount A. They drop back into man. It's Sir guarded by Matheson. Uses the Ellison screen. Getting downhill. Looking for Ellison. He finds him. Ellison, shot no good. Gets his own rebound. Shot no good. Isaiah tips it and a foul. Isaiah will go to the free throw line. Isaac Matheson picks up his third foul.
Yeah, we've seen that twice so far in this game, in this second half. Player's gone up with the tip, made contact, and then directed it towards the net, which means officially it's a shot. It's not a call you see a lot any season, and we've seen it twice in one half.
Isaiah good on the first free throw.
Yeah, good solid offensive boards by the Mounties on this one for sure.
Chance to make it a two-possession game here. Biggest shot of the night coming up. Shot's no good. Rebounded by Matheson. Here is Callahan. 3-point game. Smith drives middle, gets himself in the paint. Ball was tipped and goes into the crowd. Possession will stay with Mount St. Vincent. And a timeout from head coach Danny DePalma. We've got 36 seconds to play here in Sackville. The Mounties leading by 3.
Yeah, DePalma's calling this timeout at this stage right now just because he wants the guys to settle down and just because they're scrambling a little too much. They're trying to force a couple of things that maybe they shouldn't be doing. They're good enough. They know what they need to do. They just need to be a quick reminder right now, and that's what he's doing.
Mounties looking for their 7th win of the season. Currently sitting at 6-8. Important wins for the Mounties over the last little while. A big one at Crandall last weekend. Another big win here in the McCormick Gymnasium against Holland on the 28th. As previously mentioned, the Mounties will be next in action next Saturday in St. John against the UNBSJ Seawolves. Mount St. Vincent back in action tomorrow in Charlottetown. They play the Holland Hurricanes. We've got 36 seconds to go here. Mounties ahead by 3. 15 on the shot clock for the Mystics. It'll be Matheson to trigger in. Matheson looking. Finds Tynes. He rips baseline. Strong take. He stepped on the line. He stepped out of bounds. Possession is going back to Mount Allison. .34 seconds to play. 3-point lead for the Mounties. And you got to think Coach Chapman will want to take as much time off this clock as he possibly can. 34 seconds left. Here is Sir. They run the double at him. Isaiah gets it over half to Norris. Monroe, trapped and fouled.
And during all that, if Norris had just looked over his shoulder, he had wide open Tim Ellison under the basket. Nobody within 25 feet of him.
Yeah.
Oh.
Couldn't get it to him.
It's nice to key on control at this point, but that extra 2 would have been nice to have right then.
And Jonas Monroe will head to the free throw line. He's got 2 chances to make it a 2-possession game.
Yeah, both teams are over the limit, so no matter what, unless it's an offensive foul, that's the only way we won't be shooting right now.
Yeah, and I believe we have the short timeout here because of the fouling out of the Mystic player. And so Jonas Monroe will now head to the free throw line for 2. I'll let the crowd tell you if it's good. One more here for Monroe. Second is no good. Batted around and controlled by the Mounties. And Monroe is fouled. And he will go back to the free throw line. It was a pretty blatant tug on the back of Monroe's jersey. I think a few people in this gym want to see an intentional foul. I don't think we're going to get it in this situation. And Jonas Monroe back at the free throw line for Mount Allison. Good on the first. And the lead is extended to 5. Good on the second. Timeout, Mount St. Vincent.
Yep, and with that timeout, they'll also be able to move the ball up to the 3-quarter mark to start for the throw-in, so it's up in the front end. They need 2 3-pointers to tie this one up. That's a very solid 2-possession game at the moment.
The Mountie faithful showing their appreciation for their team. Currently ahead by 6. Just 22 seconds left to play. If you're a Mystics fan, you're looking for a quick 3, and then a steal, and then another quick 3. We've sort of come under the time where we can play the foul game if you're a fan of the Mystics.
Yeah, they're at the point where they want as little time to go off the clock as possible. Mounties, on the other hand, defensively, they want to play defense, but the concept is solid defense, but just no fouls whatsoever.
Both teams in a penalty situation.
Yeah.
Mounties not looking to give anything easy to the Mystics here. .22 and 2/10 to play. Matheson to throw in on the far side. Here's Smith, a 3-ball on the way. It's down. Just what the doctor ordered. And they go pitch ahead to Isaiah. Isaiah drives. Nearly got the and 1. But he will head to the free throw line for 2. So if you're Coach Chapman, probably not what you want to see. The quick 3 there from Mount St. Vincent.
Yeah, I was a little intrigued by a couple of no calls on one at both ends of the court. Chase Tynes up in the front, very aggressive screen at the top of the key, and then down here Isaiah was basically head was wrapped up around all the way around his body with 2 arms, and why that's not 2 in the ball, I do not understand. But that's just officials saw something different on that, and I did, so that's what we're going with.
Isaiah. One more. Rattles around and out. We've got a jump ball.
What?
With possession going to the Mounties. Can't lie to you folks, I'm a little confused about that call there. I didn't see either team really with their hands on it. But the jump ball is called, and it favors Mount Allison, which is great news if you're a Mountie fan. If you're a Mystic fan, you're wondering why, with a 1-possession game and 17 seconds to play, your team does not have possession after the missed free throw there.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened on that, but I know that in a couple of times in my career as when I was refereeing a while ago. I think only twice in 18 years I had two players contacting the ball at the same time, literally at the same time, and the ball going out. Not choice yet, but this one I'm not sure. Even if it's the shooter, I'm not sure if anybody actually made contact with that ball or if it just bounced around the rim and just basically dropped down and spun out. Which case, I'm as confused as anybody right now because that meant the shooter would have been the last person to touch it.
I initially thought it was a late violation. Messiah's got a little bit of a hitch on his shot, and I thought maybe one of the Mystic or Mountie players had entered the lane too early. That was not the call, however. So 17 seconds, ball on the sideline here for Mount Allison.
Expect another foul happening fairly quickly on this one.
Rowan to trigger in. Looks around, finds Ellison. Ellison gives it up. Monroe on the inside. Still got it. No foul here for the Mystics. Rowan gives to Norris. Mystics still haven't fouled. We've got a Mount St. Vincent player down. That's Adam Callahan, who's down towards the baseline.
I know the Mystic players, fans, and also their head coach, Danny DeBalma, at the moment are actually all up in arms with that one. From what I saw here, which might be what happened, is Matheson was leaning in, and basically he went into Monroe's shoulder.
Yeah.
Because there was no movement towards Matheson to block him off. It was just the contact happened. It was much more solid than you'd want to see at any point, but it happens sometimes.
And so 15 seconds were taken off the clock there by Mount Allison.
Yeah, the officials a little displeased with, shall we say, slightly over-exuberant fans behind the Mount St. Vincent bench at the moment.
And Sir misses the first. So not over till it's over. 2 6/10 to play. Sir's got one more at the line. Mounties lead by 3. And the shot is good. No fouls here if you're the Mounties. The full court heave. This shot is no good. And the Mount Allison Mounties with a massive win here over the Mount St. Vincent Mystics. The Mounties improving to 7-8 on the season. Mystics falling to 9-4. A huge, huge victory for the Mounties today. They have now won 5 of 6 since Christmas. The Mystics have lost 4 of 5. And we may very well see these teams, although it's the last matchup of the regular season, we could very well see them in Charlottetown in March.
Yeah, and from the Mounties, it was nice to see. That's probably the most consistent game I've seen them on defense the entire season, and that was the key point on that one. They just would not let Mystics get into their offensive game at all, which was the key to this one.
A team that averages 90, the Mounties held to 64. They improved to 7-8 on the season. Our next broadcast will be Sunday, February 18th, as the women and men's programs of Mount Allison host the University of King's College Blue Devils. And I will be on the call for that one. Steve Ridlington will take you through the women's game. We thank you for joining us today. On behalf of Ian Allen, I've been Tyler Vinson. Have a great night.